Phoenix Rising need 3 points in this weekend's matchup. How are they going to do it? Find out now. Woo! Let's go. Welcome in everyone to the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate y'all joining us. We're coming to you live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. Go in, get those polar pops, download the Inner Circle membership, save 25 cents off per gallon for your first 5 fill-ups. Got a good show for you guys tonight. And we got a lot to get to. Without further ado, I am Max Simpson, and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Owain, the Oracle. Evans, how we doing, buddy?
Yeah, you're still sticking with that nickname, I see.
Nickname, I
It's
think
been
that's just
going
kind of
for
an
a while
identity
now.
at this
I
point.
mean,
Yeah,
okay.
you like it.
Okay.
You like it. You like it.
Okay.
How we doing?
Yeah, it's a Thursday. Big game coming up this weekend.
Big match coming up. You know, Rising playing a little San Antonio FC is what I hear.
Yeah.
It is what we hear, right? Hopefully it goes better for them this time around. Last time they played San Antonio away, it wasn't the best outcome that they were hoping for. We're gonna have to get into tonight, right? As we do during these pregame shows, kind of taking a look at how Rising's perspective, what they can do to get a win. San Antonio's perspective, what they can do to get a win. We make our predictions, and then we kind of just make a mess about it, right? But again, make sure when you're coming in, hit that like button. Helps us out. Appreciate you guys supporting the show. Already seeing
you guys
everyone
there in the chat.
Yes, everyone in the chat, many of whom were here on Tuesday, as well as who were here afterwards on Tuesday, and a little diehard exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, poor old the stat lackey that is a hot dog helper, Rhys. Yeah, he had a difficult run of it in the end, didn't he? It wasn't easy for the poor lackey.
It was not great. We got Fat Kid in here. He's already doing a score prediction. We'll save those for later. Siley in the chat. We are back. Appreciate it. All right, let's dig into it, right? Phoenix Rising, right? We talk about from their perspective. And right, again, this is kind of those things where you're trying to figure out after their most recent match, how are they going to cobble together a win? Saw a lot of guys who, coming back in, trying to figure out the lineup. And before you're even looking at what the starting 11 could be, it is notable. One man who has been a consistency in the lineup, we know for certain he won't be it. We've mentioned it before earlier in the week, Alejandro Fuenmayor. That's a massive loss for this club.
That is a big loss for this team. He's been a really consistent presence at the back. It's also a loss because it makes it a little bit awkward in terms of who is truly natural per se at that position at the back to fill in. Right now, the talk from yesterday from the press conference is that it's going to be either JP Skiers or Mo Traore that fills in there at the back. But it's difficult. It's difficult because neither of those players, I mean, are they really the ones you want to go to necessarily in a back four? That's the question, isn't it, really?
It's true. I mean, it's the one you have to ask. I mean, again, this team has, for the most part, right? I mean, you've had some tinkering, right, within, at times, especially depending on manager dependent, right? You've seen back 3, you've seen back 4. You have seen some guys playing, maybe someone who's playing center back shifting out wide. That's maybe one thing. It's kind of difficult when you're looking to replace someone who's at the heart of the defense. And to your point, you have guys on the club who can do a job. But given how solid this defense has been by and large, especially given a bit of the inequities up front and within that scoring attack and positioning, it's going to be really tough to try to find someone who's going to be that seamless. I have my idea of who would be that replacement, but I'm curious first.
But who would you pick if you've got an idea?
I probably got JP in that one.
I think
to me, if you're looking for someone who's going to be the, you can play musical chairs or jigsaw with how you can swap guys out and trying to find things. I think the easiest thing to do is get someone in there who has some height, who is able to progress the ball a bit forward, right? We know Alejandro Fuenmayor, definitely more so than perhaps some of his, center back counterparts, Pat Marboy in particular. Alejandro Fuenmayor is a little bit more open to playing forward, to trying to split lines. JP, he's not exactly in that role, but right, if you're going to find someone who can do that, I think he's more so than perhaps some of the other options.
No, that would make sense to me. The bigger question, of course, is how is that going to look in the kind of formation they're doing? I mean, he played in that kind of a role in Hartford.
Yeah.
So
you can do it.
Yeah, again, this is at that point the team is implementing a lot of the stuff they're doing right now. It's early on, of course, in the Diego Gomez kind of reign for over the summer, but that was still a relevant one. Look, I still think, though, the problem is you don't have a whole lot of depth necessarily in players who are natural at being that centre-back position. The hope would have been, of course, that John Stenberg was more available this season than he's been in the end. And that's something that I think was predictable, if not... It's just difficult. It's difficult to deal with now. But... At the end of the day, this man had valley fever at the end of last season, okay? These aren't things... If you have a particularly bad bout of valley fever, the likelihood is you're not going to bounce back quickly. You're not going to bounce back as well as you'd hope to, at least in the near future. He is still out. How close is he to returning, Andrew? The official line on that one from Diego Gomez is that they don't know. It's as simple as that. They do not know. They have no current prognosis on that. The doctors can't seem to work it out. He's been struggling with this all year long. I think the positive side from the club's perspective will say that maybe they hope that he can come back in time and actually contribute before the season is over. I think the reality is that it's likely we don't see him play this year. He hasn't touched a football pitch in how long? Okay, it's not easy as well to think about how do you get him back up, not just to being fit in terms of not going to be injured, but how do you get him back up to fitness in terms of just getting him the minutes to find his way back into the game? I mean, he's played 9 games this season.
Oh, absolutely. And I think
in the league, of course.
Yes, and I think the tough part too is, right, again, I mean, granted, this, we knew that even, let's say, if he was in the rotation, you were relatively thin at center back. But unless you're in a position kind of like this, which very much could happen, whether it is a yellow card accumulation, whether it's injury, in a perfect world, none of that happens. Of course, we're faced with that this weekend. But outside of that, it's even kind of asking the question again of like, who do you drop to put him back in? It is
a good question.
It's a tough circumstance.
Because Pap is playing very well, and you don't want to drop him.
Nope.
Alejandro Fuenmayor has played perfectly fine as well. Again, defensively, his team has been relatively solid.
Yep.
It's worth noting again that we haven't seen John Stenberg on the pitch in the entirety of Diego Gomez's interim head coach spell. He hasn't been fit to play at any real point during that. So it's difficult. Now, I will say this. We do have a little bit of video to play for you. I think one that would be a good one. Let's start with him talking a bit about the defense and some of the conversations that this team has been having defensively after their last game.
It's something that we talked this week. The throw-ins, how important they are. There are a big number of throw-ins happening in the game, and from the last 6 goals, 5 starting in a throw-in, and originated from a throw-in, and then, of course, there is a play. But so we talk how important it is to defend the first action on the throw-in, and then the action on inside the box. We knew the danger. Jearl put 2 very good crosses, but we felt like we should have done a little bit more in those situations. We talk about it, and we hope to fix it for the next game.
I think that's the tough part of it as well, is the way in which they give up the goals. I think something like that is, you can maybe see there's like, okay, if there's an individual breakdown or unlucky moment, that's one thing. It's very tough when the way that they conceded goals was essentially just getting mistiming jumps and just a bit of maybe lack of communication. I think when you're bringing in a new center back into the mix of that, even if Alejandro Fuenmayor, maybe not as involved in, both of those goals, that's still a major thing to kind of have to dissect.
Yeah, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it just feels as though it's those individual moments where maybe they, over the course of a game overall, they're doing all right defensively. Yeah. This team has been, there's a reason that they're keeping as many clean sheets as they are, but just still, when you play good teams, those moments are going to happen. And that's a critical part to this because, again, those last 4 games are going to be difficult this season. These next few are critical, but the last 4 are going to be very, very difficult, as are the any potential playoff games should the team make it above the playoff line at the end of the season.
Absolutely.
They're not going to be easy games at all. So I don't know. We'll see on that one. I know, obviously, and we kind of spoke about this on Tuesday, that it felt as though there was a change in the tone after the Sacramento game, right? Going into it, I think there was a lot of positivity relative to where they were. People felt that the performances were going in the right direction, that things were going to work out, that Rising were probably more likely than not to make the playoffs. I feel like the feeling has moved from more likely than not to make the playoffs to coin toss territory right now. Sure. And that is actually, by the way, when you look at John Morrissey, a friend of the pod's, playoff predictions, which... apparently Monterey Bay have decided to sell sponsorship where the only thing they're providing is the odds that someone else made. Which, okay, Monterey Bay, fine. It's a bit weird, but okay.
They're really noodling with that one.
Cease, please. Yes. But rising it down to a 58% chance to make the playoffs, right? That's not easy. That's not necessarily going to... inspire a whole lot of confidence. And these next games are critical. Really critical.
Listen, we're talking about things, trying to inspire confidence again. Switch for sure, certainly in the back. How about anything up front? Is there anything to be optimistic of, right? I say that knowing Rising has scored only 2 goals in their last 5 matches, right? You did see
2 in 7, isn't it?
2, well... At least, at the very least, if you're looking at the last 5 from a sample size, 2 in their last 5. Yes, I believe it is 2 in their last 7.
Of which one was a penalty, and the open play goal took a massive deflection.
Yes, if you're looking right, a lot of the times you look at these matches in snapshots of 5 matches. Look at your form, 2 goals in their last 5 matches. Yes, extrapolate further, 2 goals in the last 7 matches. Right, but listen, I am curious, right? Because I think we were always saying that Tomás Ángel, right? Scored the penalty, and you're thinking, what is next from him? Is there something? I think that we have seen that there is a lot of speed and a lot of support in different spades on the wings, but you're always curious, how can you play with him within more of that central role, help him out with some support there? You did see, while it was brief, about a 20-minute spell where both him and Remy Cabral were on the pitch at the same time. Is that something? Is there an indicator? Is there anything we could have taken from that last match to where that could be something we see moving forward?
Maybe you see it later in games. I don't know if they're going to start with that. Sure. I think one of the key things here is that actually when you look at the way the chances were coming from by and large, there's 2 parts to it, right? Number one, I think that Rising's chances predominantly came from transitional moments. The best chances came when they were able to utilize some of that speed in terms of Jearl Margaritha in particular. But Remy Cabral, also a player with speed that he has there to use. I think that's another part. Look, you need to understand, I think, with this team, when they slow it down, they begin to move into more of a possession kind of phase of play rather than looking at really hitting them in those transitional moments. What this team generally doesn't do is create. They don't find ways. When they start poking around the edge of the penalty area, they almost don't have the incisiveness to find that perfect ball, that perfect little pass that's going to unlock a defense that has managed now to get back. And now, to be fair, that's a very difficult thing to do, but it also shows the importance of making sure that you really, really do make the most of those transitional moments, that you find ways when you're getting the ball on a counter attack and you're able to use the pace of someone like Jearl Margaritha or someone like Remy Cabral. You need to use that pace. You need to find ways to get the ball down there quickly and stretch them in that way, rather than expecting too much that you're going to pass it around the edge of the penalty area and stretch them horizontally in that case, because generally you're not doing a very good job at doing that. I do feel as though there are other elements to that as well. I think this is a second half team. I think they have shown that repeatedly. Okay, they do not go into games and start very well, typically on the front foot, even when they control games. Like I think they did for large spells of that first half in Sacramento. I think that they controlled a little bit more of the tempo there,
but
they create very little. They create very little. And actually, we do have a bit on that from Diego Gomez talking about kind of the difference between why this team starts so slowly in the first half versus the second half.
I think that has been games also. I think against Tulsa we had a better first half, and against Tampa also we have a very good first half. But also at the same time in the way we play, where we move opponents, we control the game. Whenever they have plenty of energy at the beginning of the games, it's more difficult to break them down, and there is less spaces. Whenever they start getting tired, the spaces open up. So I think it's a normal trend, and that you can see in many teams that play this style of play.
Yeah, you're looking for consistency. You're looking for, right? I mean, Pog has it well in the chat. We need more of a presence up front. James Wilson in the chat as well. Those two guys seem like they're chasing their tails to get it all back in regards to some other non-transfer news. But right, listen, I think you have seen there's been a lot of people coming in. And I think this is not an excuse. This is actually kind of just the unfortunate reality. You're trying to still build cohesion. And that is not at all by any means meant to let this team off the hook. That's just the unfortunate reality of where you're in, is there's just a lack of chemistry in the final third. And you can practice it. You can try to have half chances in games all you want, but until it starts translating to goals consistently, it's not something you can bank on. And again, we said on Tuesday, we're not trying to be broken records, but you're kind of just running out of time here. Yeah,
you really are. You really are. And again, it's why these next games are really, really massive.
If Rising can, listen, it's a no duh. If Rising can somehow get a goal early, I very much like their chances, knowing just, again, how they play, how they're a second half team. It's kind of been seen that, yes, they have pulled out a couple late, right? You have the one with a late first half penalty in stoppage time. You have the very late one against Loudoun away. But outside of those, right, if the longer this game goes and this is 0-0, I mean, if Rising go down, I think this is honestly over. But if the longer this match goes 0-0, you just chalk it up as where it's less and less likely as a win. Again, that's not a wow, oh my gosh statement, but it's just something where Rising hasn't shown consistently, even though they are a second half team, that they're not going to rescue it. You've seen it once in how many matches this season? It's not consistent enough. If you're not going to be a good first half team, you need to be more clinical in the second half, and you just haven't done that.
Yeah, no, they haven't. They haven't. Again, this is a team that I think when you see them go down by one goal, you expect them to not get anything back. Why? Because they've not got more than one goal in them, okay? It feels as though this team, if you can find a way to score against Rising, you're going to come away with at least a draw, because this team cannot find ways to be clinical enough to put it away multiple times, even when they are the better team. And we've had games we've seen recently where they're the better team and they can't find ways to turn that into multiple goals. Tulsa, one goal. They controlled that match, and you saw at the very end just how close they were to throwing it away with the offside goal that was called off. Okay? They could have walked out of there with a draw from a game that they completely dominated. And that's why I think, look, we are at the business end of the season. We are at the point of the year whereby your performances don't matter. We're moving in the right direction kind of stuff doesn't matter. What matters at the end of the day is going to be 3 points. And look, they've done it in some of these games, even if they did it in a relatively ugly manner at times, it felt, because they're just not scoring enough. But the challenge is going to be now to keep that one going.
You are wrong. You aren't wrong. I mean, we can take a look at the table one more time, just to kind of, again, and we're going to pull this up again throughout this show, but just to illustrate how this team is doing. Listen, there's a lot of work in front of them. They sit in 7th, but you can see 8, 9, and 10 are right on their heels. Heck, even 11 with Monterey Bay. It's not a stretch. It's tough. It's tough. They got to improve. We'll have to see what happens. Harry in the chat saying, let's go San Antonio FC. First to score wins. LOL. I don't tend to disagree with you. Well, listen, speaking of San Antonio, we're going to chat about them a little bit more here on the other side after the break. But first, right, we got to tell you guys about our friends over at Branded Bills. Branded Bills. And if you guys are watching, if I can position my head, let's see, a little correctly. Look at that. I'm wearing 2 different hats. Just kidding. I'm only wearing the... I'm only wearing the ASU one. Look at that. I'm wearing a Branded Bills hat.
I saw that.
No,
the
you
streets saw that.
No, you didn't. No, I had
The
to
streets
scoot.
saw the fact that he's a U of A guy now.
Next.
Max, Mr. Tucson.
I am from Tucson, but I had to scoot over across the Branded Bills U of A hat, which
Max,
does look nice. And then I had to go to the ASU Branded Bills
Max
hat.
is the kind of guy who'd get a half and half scarf, wouldn't he, right now?
House
For
divided.
2 rivals. Yeah. For 2 rivals. It's just wrong.
Ugh, gross. Well,
Pick your side. Pick your side.
anyway,
And
one
get
thing
the hat.
that's not gross is our friends over at Branded Bills. They got 2 lovely hats behind us, as well as so many more across their website. Again, even more styles of ASU, of U of A hats. It's great. They got the snapbacks, the truckers, the fitted ones, the beanies. It's getting, it's that time of season. You're wearing the hats. You're always wearing hats. Damon Dog, right? He's wearing a hat. He helped install these Branded Bills hats behind us. So check them out. Again, go to brandedbills.com. Do me a favor, use promo code PHNX, because not only do I want you guys to look good, I want you guys to save money while looking good. Promo code PHNX, you're going to save 20% off your first order while doing so. Again, Owain has even shared, promo code has been talked about on this pod. People have used it, right?
Yeah.
Use the promo code, helps us out.
Do
You
it.
look good. You look good. There's a ton of hat styles, and dare I say, maybe some cool custom hats coming along that you PHNX fans, wink, wink, will want to get your hands on. But yes, brandedbills.com, promo code PHNX, save 20% off your first order. All right. Well, also got to tell you guys about our friends over at Circle K. Circle K. Listen, I like Polar Pops, right? I like a little inner circle, a little discount, a little 25 cents off per gallon. Yesterday we had a little hot dog helper challenger on Tuesday we did. And, we prepped with multiple Polar Pops and, fueling up the Statlackey. And he went to Circle K. We got ourselves some nice discounted Polar Pops because we're Inner Circle members. Got them for 69 cents. It's a pretty darn good deal right there. Check out Circle K, their Inner Circle program. Again, all you got to do, download the Circle K app, opt into the Inner Circle program with just your phone number. Save 25 cents off per gallon off your first 5 fill-ups. Free stuff, great stuff. It's a fantastic membership to be a part of. And again, support our friends at Circle K. They support us. We're in Studio K, presented by Circle K. It's what we do. Check them out. Terms and conditions do apply at participating locations.
Yeah.
Baby. Let's go. All right. We are back, right? Again, make sure to hit that like button.
I will clarify here.
Button.
We got a statement from Mr. Simpson. I think my life is pretty good, and then I realize I'm from Tucson. So he is, in fact, not Mr. Tucson. He would like to...
That was the joke I was making. I know the audience didn't get that, but it was kind of just like an inside thing. I thought we all got it here on the set.
We did, but we got to share
How could it be an
sometimes
inside
with the
thing
audience.
when I was the one who said it? That's crazy. Owen, are you pulling up old tweets?
Yeah, just yours. It's funny.
Okay, for sure.
But it's okay, right? Let's...
Oh, yeah, get Kyle with a no Damon Max, though. That's fair. You know what? Damon, the item that he's eating, he can't be throwing that. So, we're getting a point? This is now just content. Is what we do. Kyle, also, again, our connection's good.
Bears or worms?
We started the throw.
Bears or worms?
It's Max's choice. It's going in his mouth.
It is. Yeah, let's,
Oh. The cherry sours.
Actually, there's a cherry. Hey, Rhys, there's a bag of cherry sours already open. We don't want to waste. We want to get, they're in one of the bins.
Sour.
Cherry sour.
It's honestly a good point, Kyle. I can't believe that Max just kind of forgot about me like that.
Oh, you didn't instigate. Listen, Kyle and I have had just a report. It's Kyle's vacation. Okay, Kyle's going to be there on Saturday. He's going to guarantee the Rising victory. He said so himself. But yeah,
Max,
we now got to
what
practice
else,
the
Max?
thing.
You forgot about Kit Thursday, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Because I've got a kit
No, I
on,
didn't. All
and
right,
you've
anyway.
got-
All right, let's go. Here we go.
One
That's
of
well
these
done.
days, he will choke live on air. One of these days.
What a grab, Max.
What am I, Arsenal? All right.
Wait, I thought you lost. Come on, the right answer there was England. We all know the right answer there was England. England choke all the time.
That's fair. Anyway, all right. Let's Let's talk about San Antonio, right? Their perspective again. This is from the the stat lackey Rhys himself. San Antonio, right, on the season, 8 wins, 7 draws, and a whopping 12 losses, 27 goals for, 33 goals against. Again, they are underperforming their XG. Again, they should be putting more in the back of the net, 32.84 XG across those 27 goals. But here's the thing. It's the 5th least number of goals for, 5th least number of XG for. So, right, offense not as prolific, but right, it means their defense is shoring things up. Not necessarily. 33 goals against off of 34.5 XG. So that's pretty about even. 8th least goals conceded and the 5th least XG against. I mean, listen, it's one of those things where this club, if Rising can turn the ship, you like your chances on paper, but as we know, Owen, this match is not played on paper.
No, it's not. But the thing about San Antonio, I think, as you look at them, is that they felt like they've been playing better lately. And they're getting big results. When they need big results, they're getting big results. Oakland, they managed to win there. They played well against Sacramento in terms of trying to frustrate them. It wasn't a particularly pretty game, but they lose 1-0 in that game, and honestly, they'd have hoped maybe they'd come away with a point there. They felt like they were more likely to come away with a point, it felt, than Rising were in that last game. Look, at the end of the day, I think that they're a team that has talented pieces in there that will find ways to, maybe get a result on the road here. And this is going to be a difficult one. This is going to be a very difficult one.
I mean, you kind of look at San Antonio and just who they've been playing recently. I mean, right, you're going back to, back through their last 6 matches, only 1 loss. And now, granted, that was Sac Republic 1-0. And you're thinking, 1-0 loss to Sac Republic on the road, that's not bad. Well, they had one shot on target all match. It was shellacking.
But the thing is that they only conceded. No, I disagree. You go into that game.
Revisionist Owen. Okay.
No, because here's the thing, right? If you are a team that is struggling, that expect to get nothing out of that game, what do? Do you go there and say, hi, I want to be slaughtered by playing an open, expansive style of play? Or do you go in and park the bus and try and get a point?
The former.
And it took
the former.
It took until an 86th minute penalty for Sacramento to get through. It almost worked.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
So then
that's right. You get points for almost. That's
Max,
so cute.
Max likes Ange ball, which means even if you're down to 8 men, you play on the halfway line.
It's heroic. It's what the people want.
What a performance, Max.
Huh?
It's about.
We won that game against Chelsea.
Decision to go in the way that they did. I think to play a relatively defensive style against a very good team, and it very nearly worked.
You're right. We're giving points for almost. No, but on the real, whatever. We're
Fine, but you do that in Phoenix and it works because Phoenix can't score to save their lives.
We're going to agree to disagree on that match against Sacramento. Regardless, again, 5 out of their 6 most recent matches, they did not lose. Okay, so what does that mean? Right, it's showing that they have some notable players. Again, one guy who has been a menace against Phoenix Rising, right, scored in the last matchup between the two, Juan Agudelo.
Indeed. 7
goals on the season, 8.71 XG, so pacing relatively well. 12 shots on target, 50 total shots. Again, 12 shots on target, 7 goals. That's pretty darn good. That's a good conversion. Completed 23 of 67 dribbles. Not great, but right, he's a guy who, if you give him an opportunity, he can very much take it. And we've seen that. We saw it against Rising. That's not a player, especially with this club, going through not a first choice center back within the lineup. That's going to be tricky.
Yeah, but here's the thing. To me, the important player, yes, Juan Agudelo is important, but I think one of the key people to really deal with in this game is going to be Jorge Hernandez. He's someone who Phoenix Rising know, of course, very well, right? He's played at San Antonio now for a couple of years. He was with ALLCITY too before, so right, you've seen him a lot of times. But he is really, really important in that squad, okay? The way that he was given license in some of these games to kind of create and he does create, right? There's a reason that he has 3 times more chances created than any other individual member of San Antonio FC. Okay?
He's the guy.
Jorge Hernandez is the guy this goes through. Always the guy this goes through. And
not
that
just,
is critical.
not,
if you can find a way to get him out of the game, great.
Yeah. No,
but that's the challenge.
That's just it. I mean, listen, and it's one of those things like Rising, do they have playmakers? Sure, but it's very much kind of by distribution, and there's not that necessarily outline guy like San Antonio has. So again, it's the twofold. If you can take him out of play, helps your chances out a ton, but it is so much easier said than done. So
yeah. And don't get me wrong, though. Agudelo's really important there in terms of they both play well together. But if you can find a way to prevent Jorge Hernandez from being the kind of creative player that he is, that's when you could end up seeing San Antonio could have some problems.
Now, again, here is, I'm not saying this is silver lining, but like, right, we are trying to find ways, how can Phoenix Rising win? We gave you the Rising side. From the San Antonio perspective, again, pulled by our very own stat like Rhys, in their last 6 matches, San Antonio, 4 goals, 4. So only 4 goals scored in their last 6 matches, right? XG relatively similar. Tied for the 3rd least goals in that span. Least amount of XG in that span. 2 goals conceded. Now here's the thing. That is tied for the least number of goals conceded. It is off of 7.7 XG, which means, my word, there were teams that were not clinical against them, and that means that there could be an opportunity. Now, again, Rising has to create that XG. Hasn't always been great, especially in their last 6 matches, which is an understatement. But that could be one silver lining. And then the second is 35 shots in that span, least in the league. Rhys, is that's an offensive or defensive standpoint?
Which one?
The 35 shots in that span, is that allowed?
That's taken.
They're only taking 35 shots in that span, least in the league. So listen, again, this club has players who can convert, but they're not getting a ton of chances recently, and other teams have been threatening. Those are 2 things, again, that this club in San Antonio has only lost once in their last 6 matches. But Owain, hearing those 2 things, do you think that gives Rising any hope? Is that just kind of 2 anomalies? How do you think that translates to Phoenix Rising?
In this game? Ooh.
I mean, as 179 West says, pokes Rising with a stick, score a goal. That's what we need.
That's the problem. Rising don't score. This team struggles with scoring goals. Look, I don't necessarily know if I see Rising scoring a goal this weekend.
I mean, I don't see it either.
I've got to be honest. I don't see a goal coming this weekend necessarily. Now, they'll probably prove us wrong. But the point is that even getting the 1 makes you nervy again down the line, because I just don't think this team has a lot of goals in it at the minute. It's not finding the right ways to create these chances, not finding the right ways to actually put some of them away. A lot of them are half chances. Look, I think that San Antonio are going to play quite well defensively in this game overall. I think that, again, they are clinical. They outperform their XG. They're a lot more clinical than Rising are in that sense. So I do think that there's a good chance that San Antonio score when they come here. I'm already launching into score predictions at this point, effectively, and I think that Rising lose this game.
Okay.
And this is critical.
Do you have a scoreline?
I'm going to go 1-0.
Okay, we got 1-0 for Owain, and if I do recall, Fat Kid in the very first comment of the live chat
said it was going to be 5-0.
5-0.
He keeps throwing that one out there, thinking that eventually it'll happen.
That's not great. We got Rhys 0-0. Seems like a very likely one.
Mr. Simpson, what are you going with?
I'm going to ask Damon Dog actually first.
1-1.
Okay.
I think I was on the money last time I gave one of these predictions. Might have been 2 times ago.
We like it. Okay. Oh, yeah, I tend to agree. I think I got 1-1. I was gonna go 0-0, but yeah, I'll go 1-1. I'll buck the trend. Let's see. We got Andrew in the chat 1-1. We got Kevin in the chat 2-1. Rising late winner for Phoenix. I like that. I hope it happens. Kevin, let us know who you think you have winning. Bandito's Bluebirds, stat like he knows, 0-0. Already said Sadly in the chat, 1-0 to San Antonio. 179 West, 1-0. Rising scoring somewhere in the 60th to 70th minute. Okay, the second half team doing their thing. James Wilson in the chat, 0-0. Devin also asking a very important question. Will Kyle be at this game? Yes, he will. Harry in the chat, 0-0 draw, which hurts both teams, which is the season both teams are having.
True.
I don't disagree with you at all in there. And Devin 2-1, not giving an indicate. Well, I guess if we're going off that, it would be Rising. Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
So we're kind of saying this is going to be just a tough match. Anywhere from a loss to a draw, a couple wins sprinkled in there. And again, I don't think that's not based on Rising's form. I think that's just based on San Antonio. But again, San Antonio's form is like not better than Rising's. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. That's why I'm not confident going into this game. I don't think I'm confident at all going into this game.
That's fair. Andrew, I hope Quajo finally scores finally at 89th minute. Get that equalizer. Oh, take me back. Take me back. Yes, Kevin, we are undefeated with Kyle.
That's one game. That's one game.
I'm sorry. Is that someone else?
This sounds like using the statistical kind of basis.
Is this guy is he calling us liars right now?
No, you're correct, but it's just not statistically significant.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure wins are very significant.
I think
we try to
one
focus on
game
the wins
is not
around here,
statistically significant.
This guy is such a downer.
Oh, it's reality, Max. Welcome to reality.
Yeah, the reality is they're undefeated with Kyle there.
One game.
All I'm hearing is we're undefeated with Kyle. Kevin,
what was
frame that.
What was the score the day that Rhys ate the hot dog at the stadium?
I don't know.
Oh no, are you trying to do something with that? Oh boy.
Oh, and you can't argue with results.
Yeah.
But it's only one though.
Kevin says don't let statistics get in the way of winning, Owen.
100%.
But if you do it after one, if you do it after one, you just sound like an England fan when they beat up on I don't know,
Undefeated.
Serbia in the group stage and go, oh, we're going to win it again. No, you're not. No.
Yeah, but that's different. We did something that we haven't tried at all this season. Kyle coming to a match, and we won. And again, that's a trend. It's a streak.
Screw it. I'm changing my prediction. 2-1 Rising.
Whoa!
No,
we got him.
I didn't know the Kyle magic exists.
The Kyle magic exists.
I'm all over that.
There we go. I'm saying that, maybe the win won't continue, but the unbeaten streak will continue with Kyle there. You can't argue with the unbeaten streak.
So it's like marginally getting worse.
Rhys says Rising lost 3-1 on that
Rhys can no longer eat hot dogs at stadium because they've lost. We're going to thank God because they've lost both games when Rhys is eating a hot dog at a stadium. He's so happy right now. Scenes, he says.
So have him eat a hot dog before the stadium. But you can't. But we after the break, we'll actually go around the USL for a little bit. But I gotta tell you guys, there actually is a place where you can go ahead and eat a hot dog before you watch a sporting event, and that's over at our friends at Valley Tap Room.
Hot dogs there?
I mean, that you are able to go and enjoy all different kinds of culinary cuisine. They got some nice little small bites, right? They got the popcorn. They actually do have some pizza and other stuff from time to time. They do have restaurants right by them that do sell those delicious frankfurters, those weenies, those hot dogs that the Stadlaki likes to gobble up, or at least try to. And again, I'm trying to be nice to the Stadlaki, but right, I mean, he can't escape it. Last time we were there. Well, not the last time, but one of the times we were there to watch and take in a little Euros action. Owen, I may be remiss. What happened? What did we watch?
We watched Spain save football.
Rhys
so
mocking
angry
you
at
when he
this.
do that is hilarious.
He hates
He
it
really
so
does.
much.
Oh boy. Well,
Oh,
yes.
what a shame.
We watched Spain save football. We watched England. Right in there. But hey, you can check out Valley Tap Room for yourself. It's a fantastic, great time. Find them at valleytaproom.com, on the socials at Valley Tap Room, and come in for the fun. Again, we're going to be doing some PHNX Rising content a little bit later in the season and towards the off season, kind of laying things up, having a good time. But yes, check out our friends over at Valley Tap Room.
All right, I just got to address this from the chat. It's a tiny little bit further up, please, Damon.
What's the
Can we
best
just
bun
have
for a
look
hot
at this?
dog and it's not a sandwich?
No. The
I think it
sausage
is.
spewer. He's got a new nickname. He is the sausage spewer.
Oh, that is accurate. Kids.
Oh, Rhys. Oh, Rhys. The sausage spewer.
Well, we're going to be spewing content over at gophnx.com where you can get all the kind of great stuff. We have the written articles. We have merch where you can go check them out. Of course, you can get into our newsletter, join our Die Hard program where you can get exclusive content, access to the Discord. Of course, we're doing stuff every now and then like the Hot Dog Helpers Hot Dog Challenge. Right? gophnx.com is the hub for everything there. Our guys work really hard and making some nice written content where you can see the list of all the different pods shows we're doing. And listen, I know you guys are familiar, but, go to our website. There's different things there that maybe you didn't know of. So check them out. Again, if you're listening to this back, go check us out at gophnx.com. A lot of great stuff there. It's a fun time.
Yeah.
It's a fun time. All right, listen, we're back. We're back, baby. I think you wanted to. Do we want to go around the USL, or did you have maybe a little something from Tuesday?
We can do a little bit of around the USL first. So let's pull the standings up again and just kind of get that context here again as a reminder. So New Mexico, the first team now to clinch a playoff place in the Western Conference with their win over Sacramento.
By a wide margin.
Oh, yeah, by a long margin there. 10 points clear at the moment at the top of the table. As you look further down, of course, Sacramento, Colorado Springs, Memphis, all in that hunt for the home playoff game. Vegas not far behind them. Oakland not far behind.
That's in play.
That is very in play. Yeah, the entire stretch is in play.
Without a doubt.
And then you've got the 7 through 11 in Phoenix, in Orange County, in Tulsa, in San Antonio, in Monterey Bay, all looking to sneak into the playoffs. And then you've got the dead men at the bottom of the round. As
a neutral, that's pretty juicy, right? 1 and 12 are solidified. Those are going absolutely nowhere, barring something insane.
100%.
2 through 6. Juicy. 7 through 11, juicy. Those are all very much up for grabs. Again, 2 through 6 are separated by 4 points. Okay. 7 through 11 are separated by 4 points. That is good old-fashioned American soccer in the USL.
All right, let's talk Saturday games at the moment in terms of teams there that are in play for right around Phoenix Rising. FC Tulsa, they're going to be traveling away to Rhode Island. So that game will be kicking off at 4:30 Arizona time on Saturday. In other games, Monterey Bay, Orange County, that's 2 of those teams right there that are in that mixer. They will be playing each other at 7 p.m. at Cardinale Stadium. And Las Vegas Lights, who are above Rising, they will be playing Sacramento Republic. So, yeah, again, Lights probably not someone you're going to catch, I think, from Phoenix Rising's perspective, because you kind of need Rising to win most of their games and teams like Lights to lose pretty much all of their games. But there we go. That's that one for that. So, yeah, there are indeed games happening. It's pretty much the main ones there again: Monterey Bay, Orange County, and Rhode Island against FC Tulsa.
Okay. I get you. I mean, which of those are you most intrigued by? What is the match there?
Monterey Bay, Orange County.
I actually also don't hate Vegas and Sac.
I don't think it's relevant though for Rising, really.
Maybe not for Rising.
It tells you a lot. It does tell you a lot about it tells you a lot about the league and where it's going to go. Yeah, I'd agree. But in terms of Rising's perspective, Monterey Bay, Orange County is huge. Not least because you're facing Orange County then on the Wednesday.
This is fair. Okay. All right. Well, listen, that's not bad. It's good to know. We got some upcoming matches this weekend, right? Talked about this one. Is there anything else? I think we had an event on Tuesday.
Yeah, we did do something on Tuesday, didn't we? And
well, maybe not us.
We've been speaking, I think, about, and some of you will have heard this. If you were a diehard, you got to watch it, so you should have signed up to be a diehard, and you can, of course.
Just making sure, does he have a potty mouth in this one?
No.
Are we about? No,
I don't believe so.
Okay, we just gotta be careful.
I don't believe so. It's going to be tested before we turn over to this clip.
Much like we tested the hot dogs, we are going to go test a little teaser for you guys.
Indeed,
a little tasty tester teaser.
I don't think there was anything wrong with it.
I don't think so either.
Here's the thing. You all heard the story of the demise of our poor hot dog helper, the stat lackey, Rhys, the glizzy guzzler. I think it was a real shame how Tuesday went down.
I think it's just one of those things. Like, listen, again, like
the lights were too bright.
Hand up. We know what it means to run your mouth on this podcast, and you pay the consequences. The thing is, it's one thing to own up for it. It's another thing to Just making an absolute mockery. Disgracing the name. And almost immediately, too.
It
wasn't
he
even a
shamed
fight.
himself. It wasn't
even a fight.
You know, there are levels that you can get to which are respectable in terms of performance, and that wasn't. It was a poor performance all around. And I think Rhys knows that. He knows that he let himself down. He knows that he let his fans down. He knows that he let a lot of people down. And you know what? We'll just have a look now at the demise of Rhys the Glizzy Guzzler Goodall.
Mustard uniform complimenting Rhys.
Producer Carl, that is too complete. His
pacing's decent. It's got to pick it up. Curious, right? Rhys did mention that he would make a game time decision whether or not he will be utilizing the water, either more for sipping. We do see a dunk in there. We do see a dunk. It's it may be more it may be used by the
Oh my god! Hang on a minute. Okay, we're done. Oh my god! Call it, Kyle.
Joey Chestnut. Okay. How does Joey Chestnut do that? He's saying.
So again, you're watching it live in the moment. Again, diehards saw the entire thing because that was great. It was a brief 2.5 minutes, not even. It was glorious. Diehard saw it again. If you sign up to become a diehard and you send us it, we will send you the full video.
You know what I'm going to say here, though, because we've given our reaction here, but I want to turn it over to a day one Rhys fan. Okay, I want to hear the reaction. Damon, when you witnessed that performance on Tuesday, Damon, just walk us through how it felt for you.
Honestly, it was shocking because you believe in a guy and you invest your time and your energy into somebody and you think to yourself, he can do it. And you put your stamp of approval on it, you know? I walk around town with my Rhys jersey on and everybody says, so he's a big Rhys fan. And I say, oh yeah, how's he going to do in the hot dog challenge, they ask. And I told all of them, I said, he's going to crush it out of the park. And what does he do? He embarrasses me. He embarrasses all Rhys fans across the world. Unbelievable.
I think it's one of those things, isn't it, whereby if he'd have gotten to like 7, 8, 9, you could say, okay, you know what? He put up a fight. It wasn't there that day.
Absolutely.
But he can hold his head high. But just the way that it went down, the way that it just collapsed, really. I mean, it was a shambles.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, you just want to see a fight. That's all it is. You don't expect W's every time that you step onto the pitch, every time you step onto the court. But man, would I have just liked to see just a competitive back and forth with those hot dogs, and we didn't get that.
I mean, I think it's when people are in a state of panic, right? There's one of two things you're going to do. You're going to keep on putting your head down and grinding through it, or you're going to put up a bit of a Hail Mary. And we saw even in that brief clip, even leading up to it, Rhys was in dire straits. And he absolutely went for the Hail Mary, which was the dunk. And the fact, listen, confidence is key, right? Phoenix Rising, you need confidence to score. You need confidence when you're dunking that hot dog in water. And it just wasn't there. The fact where he's saying, right, I'm going to regret this before it's even down his gullet. It's just, it's not a good place to be.
The power of negativity. I mean,
it's not a good place to be.
You need that good self-talk
before he even put it just wasn't there. It wasn't
Spurs
there.
mentality.
It is. Wait. No, I think you said sports mentality.
Spurs mentality.
No.
You know what, though? You know what, though? I would like to actually hear from the man himself, if we can, please, at this time. So he's just going to grab the headset a minute. And Rhys, we need to know now, of course. We all saw what happened. We saw the way that went down. From your perspective now, just even as we think about like the longevity now, what things are going to be like going forward, when are you next going to be able to even look at a hot dog?
Never. Simply never.
Didn't you tell me that you saw some hot dogs earlier today?
Yeah, and I could feel my stomach go a little weird there. The smell just took me back to the kitchen there. Took me back to when I first had that bun with the water meet my mouth, and no.
It's. Have you watched any of the film back? Have you dissected your performance?
Well, my head wasn't in the game from the start. Me and Max were laughing. The eating hot dogs is a serious deal. You got to be committed from the second the whistle blows. We weren't. It was a team effort, and our team wasn't up for it.
We did hear, actually, we heard from Damon about what it's like for a day one Rhys fan, and the performance. Do you have any words for the fans?
Well, I could go one of two routes with this, but I think I'm just gonna say sorry again. Sorry for letting everyone down. People took the over. The line set at 9.5. I'm just sorry. That's all I can say.
Will there be
No.
a chance at redemption?
No, not for at least a year,
Okay.
if not 2.
It's not happening.
September
It's not
17th,
happening is what I'm hearing. But I
2024.
will say this: has there been any progression on the being disowned by your family front?
We'll see in December. When class gets out at ASU, where I go. Do I stay in the dorms or do I go back home? We'll see. It's going to be a game time decision.
It's going to be a game time decision. It's not known at this point, of course. Those of you who weren't watching live, Rhys did get a text from a family member at the end of the challenge saying that, not to bother coming home at Christmas. He wasn't welcome.
And that's what I deserve after putting up a performance like that.
He understands that at least. Well, Rhys, you put up a fight. It wasn't a very good fight, and it didn't last for very long. And almost anyone else would have. You put up 2. I'm sorry.
I think if I filled the full 10 minutes, I don't think I hit 6.
You don't think you hit 6?
But it was the bun.
The bun was just a lot.
A lot of carb.
A lot of carb.
I think it's where it gets you, right? I mean, people think the hot dog. People think, oh, it's not a 999 challenge. It's just it fills up, man.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I mean, Damon, did you do the 999?
Damon did the 999. Oh yeah, that's a vet. That's a grizzled vet.
Yeah, Damon understands how to deal with hot dogs. Damon gets that. Damon understands the art of the hot dog.
I do, and that's why I wasn't expecting a 10 hot dog performance out of Rhys. I really wasn't. I know the difficulties in doing it, so especially under a time limit. I mean, it's a tough challenge, but at the same time, the number we got was just not. That's not representative of the fight I thought we were going to put up that night. Mm-hmm. And one thing that Rhys mentioned that I wanted to touch on as someone that feels scorned by him, he said it was a team effort and it was a team loss. Did you guys feel like he was trying to place blame on other people? Because I would love to see a little bit of accountability, to be honest with you, after such a horrific performance. A team loss. I don't know who else was.
I feel as though it was when the pressure was on at its most peak time. Rhys, as an individual, just couldn't handle that pressure.
No, and I mean,
it wasn't anyone else that you can put the blame on in that moment. I don't think there is anyone you can at all blame. Rhys simply failed to manage the hot dogs.
You know how you say, right? You can very much tell the results within the first minute or from the first kick of the ball, or even as much as when a team's walking on the bus, right? We're walking off the bus, right? The timer starts. And I'm not going to ruin it completely for those who, aren't on diehards and not watch it. But when you're asking within the first 5 seconds, oh no, this isn't open. Why is this not open?
And then you say in the first 10, 15 seconds, within the first, so over for me.
Yes. When you have that mentality, you have no one else to blame but yourself.
I would agree. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it was a truly, truly disappointing and honestly shocking performance, I think, from Rhys.
This is we don't do accountability.
And I feel as though he just has to accept, I think, the blame for that, because it was.
This is PHNX, right?
Real leadership is saying it's on me. I gotta be better. Yeah. And that's what I needed to see out of Rhys. And I didn't hear that right now.
I mean, real leadership is apologizing for the fact that he didn't, stuff enough sausages down his gob there. Okay, it's the truth. I mean, you were supposed to do 10 and you only get 2. It's disappointing.
No, in fact, it was not a collective fail.
It was not.
How is this collective?
It's not a collective.
Were we supposed to eat hot dogs? Was this 10 cumulatively? No.
It was, yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. And listen, we're absolutely going to continue to let Rhys hear this. However, I do also want to start, planting the seed of what does this guy have to do? What does this guy have to do?
Well, no,
What's
here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
I don't usually run my mouth stupidly on the pod. Like,
what?
That's the...
Yo!
No.
We're clipping that. Clip that.
No.
Rhys, time code, clip that. We're about 4 minutes in.
Have I been talking to a different Owen?
When have I
ever made a promise that I could or would do something that's not realistic?
Mark that.
He said that he could do 10 hot dogs in 10 minutes. He said he'd get a tattoo if Rising won the league. What have I done that's similar to that?
If
what have
anyone
I said?
who has been
What have I
watching
said
this,
similar?
send us
No,
your clips.
because you're not getting. You're
Find
missing
them.
the point.
They are there. They
We
are
say some
absolutely
silly stuff,
there.
but we don't. I have not done that. I'm not that dumb to make bets that I can't actually follow
Oh, we
through
know
on.
that's not the case.
When did I make those bets?
Oh, I don't know, but they're out there.
You don't know because they're not there, man.
Find them, and send them. Send them. Please. We have a stat lackey. He's now committed to this. He will find it. He has unearthed
because
plenty.
what is there?
He has unearthed plenty.
You'd have remembered some of these. If I said anything as daft, the tattoo one we remembered from day one. You saying the hot dog thing we remembered from day one. What have I said that comes close to that?
Don't worry. He seems very defensive, if you ask me.
No,
Chad.
I'm making a point here that you're
like a little bit on edge.
You live in illusion. Defensive. You're living in illusion, Max, at the moment. You're delusional, my friend. Okay, I understand that being a Spurs fan, you do have to have that bit of that delusion there.
Now he's deflecting.
I mean,
everyone.
it's not. Am I wrong?
It's what this guy does. We'll find something for you. We'll find something for you. Well, listen, if we're going to talk about, Spurs and all that stuff, right, let's talk about Arsenal, right? 0-0, a little Champions League going on. There were some other things, right? Very brief.
Well, yeah, didn't they beat Tottenham?
That's old news.
Huge win for Tottenham, though.
Massive.
Who did they play? Coventry?
Coventry. I almost
what a big
slid
club.
on that carpet over there.
You should have seen Max
when
Brennan Johnson scored to win 2-1 in stoppage time. Max was celebrating like they just won the Champions League.
Let's go. And they do have a medal for that. Yes, let's see. A little bit around the Champions League as well.
I'd like to congratulate them on beating Coventry by the same margin that Coventry beat Oxford to get to that game.
All right. A little bit around the Champions League. Some of the notable ones. Atalanta 0, Arsenal 0. Atletico Madrid with a late winner, 2-1 over RB Leipzig. And Barcelona with a 2-1 loss. Little red card action against Monaco. Tough. You hate to see it. Sorry for you Barca fans out there. Devin all in the chat. I don't recall. Let's see. Siley in the chat. Who? There's some teams. I guess they played. It is what it is. That's cute. Yeah, it's fine. That's great. But up the Spurs. I completely agree. Yeah. Come on, you Spurs. No. It's a beautiful time. Champions League are in full effect. We're gonna get Europa League in the mix. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We love.
Can we not forget Conference League, please?
Oh, so you're absolutely
big
right.
clubs play Conference League football.
Absolutely.
All right, tell us about the Conference League there, please, Damon. Quickly.
All that you need to know is that at the end of it, Chelsea will be the first club to have won all 3 European competitions.
There we go.
It's going to be massive clubs only.
I honestly don't hate that. I mean, that's fair. We'll see. We'll see how it pans out. We win trophies in our second year, so here we go. We got that. And of course, actually, we saw this on a map. By the way, we saw it confirmed. Biggest club in Wales, Wrexham.
So that confirmed by what?
Let's go. I'll buy a map that it's in
by
Wales.
What map? That it's in Wales. Well done.
Let's go, baby. We're in Wales. Is how
Max
we do.
has got geography
here's a Wrexham question, Owen. When does the panic button go on the table for you? For you personally?
I don't really care.
Because you said specifically with your words, what we remember, you told us they are not coming up. Yeah. Well, currently they're in first place in League One. So
yeah, I think though that
we are.
No,
we are.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Let me just clarify on that one though. It is a long season.
It is.
I think the result against Sheffield United shows the reality of where that club is. Birmingham, sorry. I don't know why I'm saying Sheffield United. I'm completely losing it. Apparently. They did play them in the cup earlier in the season as well. I feel as though, when you look at where they are in terms of, the players they've got and that, I don't think that they are going to stay at where they are at the moment. I think that over the course of a long season, they will drop off. And we'll just have to see. I mean, League One is a complex league. What?
I just want to know when the panic button comes out.
I don't know. I mean, look, if you think that I care about it that much, that a panic button would be hit, no, I don't really care that much.
Oh, easy to say. Well, listen.
Also, Devin, you can't. Devin, you can rank whatever you want, but you can't put Swansea above Cardiff. That's just living in delusion, Devin. You've been to Swansea, surely. You know what that place is like.
Oh, boy.
That's the one that That's the one that's pushing it too far.
There it is.
Oh, and I'm just sad we couldn't make it out to the race course for Wrexham Shrewsbury. I mean, what a derby that was. 3-0.
Next time.
Well, we're going to be in the new league next year.
Make sure to keep watching us on YouTube, PHNX Sports on YouTube. Of course, find us live, PHNX Rising, right? Tuesdays, Thursdays, 6 p.m. usually, right? Occasional day here and there. And then, of course, post-game, where you catch us after Saturday. But that has been everything for the PHNX Rising podcast. Appreciate everyone joining us. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Rising, because double the underscore.
Double the, I don't know. I got to think of something now.
Double the recovery time for hot dogs.
Double the recovery time for hot dogs.
You can please make a like. Please leave a like on the way out here. You can follow me on Twitter at MaxDavidSimpson. You can follow Owain on Twitter at OJEvans18. You can follow the hot dog helper himself at Rhys11_.
The hot dog nicknames now are just gonna wind him up so badly.
Either wind him up or break him down. Maybe a little bit of both. You can follow producer Damon Dog on Twitter at Damon DAWG. Woo-woo. And of course, Mr. Kyle Cooper, who is not in the room, but he is the usual producer extraordinaire. Follow him at KCoop Sports. He will be in person in the flesh. Rumor has he's bringing his camera, so make sure to get a pic from Kyle. And yeah, he's the good luck charm. So if Rising lose, we'll never bring him again. But it's a great time. Appreciate everyone joining us as always with the shenanigans. We'll be back here post game on Saturday, but until then, stay safe, eat your hot dogs, drink your vitamins, all that stuff. It's a beautiful game, but it's way more beautiful when you don't fail at a hot dog challenge 2.5 minutes into your 10 minutes. Not even 25%, not even 3 hot dogs. Never say that. You'll never say that. You ate 3 hot dogs, Rhys. You'll never say that.
Y'all silly like the mayor.